the road, I asked the question, Lord, Lord, why so much pain? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they may never see. Oh, I gotta say thank you. I won't complain. Because God, He's been real good to me. He's been real good. More than this world or you could ever be. He's been so good to me. Hey, He dries all of my tears away. Hey, He turned all of my midnight into day. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Lord. I just gotta say thank you. I just want to witness and say thank you. Thank you, Lord. Every day of my life. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Lord. Let us stop complaining.
That's some kind of song. I won't complain. And here at our studio, we've learned that to be a guiding principle in life, that your good days should outweigh your bad days. And with that said, I won't complain. My name is Greg Grant, your host of the Grant Brothers Bluff City Report. The co-host is here. I don't think he has any complaints. Alonzo Grant. Alonzo.
How you doing?
I won't complain.
I won't complain, no complaint. God has been truly good to me.
Over the years, that's been one of your favorite songs.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me any reason why you
Well,
adopted that song?
well, I can tell you where I played it today,
Okay,
in Pacific.
okay.
Because last night, or
On Tuesday
Tuesday night,
of last
Tuesday
week
night
on
of
May
last
the
week.
1st.
we had a big election, which we talked about.
Okay,
And I would say that our ballot proved to be a winner. We probably won, would you say, what?
98%
98%
to
of
99% of all the
that
people
we
that were on the ballot.
endorsed, and a lot of people were unhappy about
Yeah,
it. And the ones that we that didn't get on the ballot, that we didn't pick or choose, they were doing a lot of complaining last
yeah, they
night.
were doing a whole lot of complaining.
They were
And
doing a lot of complaining and crying.
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Okay.
Because we endorsed across the board. The only race we didn't touch was the county mayor's race, and only
Right.
because we were not impressed with either one of the two.
Exactly.
And we said that we will allow the people to speak on that particular race.
Right.
And the people spoke on that race. But we covered every race. Unlike some of the other ballots, they just picked out,
A Pacific person.
that's right,
That
and they
they
just
wanted.
kind of cherry picked
Who they wanted.
and put certain cherry picked persons on the ballot that were already popular. Well, we took the alternative route, which was the best route, to have a complete ballot.
Right.
And we told everybody on the front end that we were not going to select anybody for the county mayor's race, that we wanted the people to speak on that.
Right.
And they spoke. But I would like to say congratulations to you.
Right.
Is that why we're wearing our T-shirts?
That's why we're wearing our T-shirts, and to finish up the I won't complaint. God has been good to you candidates that lost, so don't complain.
Don't
You
complain.
woke up this morning, and there's always the next time.
You know, one of the most common complaints I hear is it's too many ballots
Right.
during the election time. And the problem is that people that are running for office, if they cannot get on the major ballot, which is the Greater Memphis Democratic Club ballot, then if they don't get on any other ballot, then they'll just make up ballots themselves.
Right.
And what we wanted to do was to identify some of the losing ballots today on the show.
Right.
So
And-
people will know when they see this stuff again, they need to toss it in the trash because it's no good.
Right. And when they're not able to get on the winning ballot,
Mm-hmm.
then they turn around and want to trash the winning ballot with all these made up ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it seems like it's so many ballots, because they'll come out with, this is the other ballot is a fake ballot,
Mhm.
and blah, but really, their ballot is the fake ballot.
Well, I want to start out with the first fake ballot
Right.
that I have that we collected, and that was the Cliff Lewis and Jonathan Lewis ballot.
Pretty fake.
It's pretty fake. It was like
Well,
this,
actually,
saying that
his
it
was
a
not
voter's
a
guide.
ballot, it was a guy.
It was a guy.
That was multiple choice.
Yeah. Well, they indicated people that they thought would be the best serving folks. Out of 12 people that they listed on their voter's guide, 8 of them lost.
Right. And when you come out with a guide rather than a true ballot, you're losing out of the gate. Because a true ballot, such as the Memphis Democratic Club ballot, the Greater Memphis Democratic Club ballot, it's telling you what to do on the Democratic side. It's not giving you a bunch of, multiple choices.
Right.
If you don't like this one, maybe you'll like that one.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's a ballot that says this is who we vetted and who we've picked, and we feel like this particular person will serve you democratically in a good way.
Well, I would like to thank our viewing public because we sent out more than 41,000 ballots by way of mail. Nobody else did that because we're serious about what we're doing. And it was pretty evident that people took note, they paid attention, they took that ballot into the voting booth with them, and they used it and they voted the people that we asked them to vote, and those people were victorious. And we have another fake ballot.
No, that's a real fake ballot.
Yeah, this is the Memphis Democratic Club. This is done up by LaTroy Williams.
LaTroy Williams.
Just so you know. That's our original name
Right.
that we had before we went to the Greater Memphis Democratic Club. And he basically just stole the
He
name.
stole the name.
And he had about 12 people on this particular ballot. And of the 12 that were on here, 10 of them lost.
10.
I would say this was a failure and it was doomed from the very
And
beginning.
that lets you know crime does not pay.
Don't pay. Now, here's another fake ballot. The Memphis Democratic Coalition,
That's the same LaTroy
produced
guy.
by LaTroy Williams.
Yeah.
So what he would do is, if you were running in a race, you and I were running against each other, he'd take your money, put you on this ballot,
Right.
take my money and put me on this ballot.
Right.
Same guy,
Same guy.
collecting money from both parties. That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Absolutely wrong. And on this particular one, had about 12 people. 10 of them lost.
10 of them.
10. Fake ballot.
Fake
LaTroy
ballot.
Williams, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Here's another LaTroy Williams production.
And fake
This
ballot.
one's called the Shelby County Democratic Club. A takeoff of these produced by the same guy. That's wrong.
Well, what we should say is, LaTroy, we got you.
We got you. We got you.
We got you.
Because he had 12 people endorsed on here, 10 of them lost.
And that means, as you said earlier, he took money from 25 different people. Same people running for the same positions, but just put them on different pieces of paper, you know, in order to fool the general public.
Absolutely.
So LaTroy, we got you, you know, and crime does not pay.
It doesn't pay, and every politician out there, you ought to be aware of this guy. It's wrong. You don't circulate 4 different ballots
Right.
and have 4 different people running for a position and different ones on each ballot.
Correct.
That's wrong.
That's wrong.
So he needs to get his life together and stop playing politics in the city of Memphis and totally misleading folks.
Well, I would suggest to him, and he doesn't have to take my suggestions. He needs to get out of politics and get his life straightened out.
He really should. Here's another one. This one was produced by Sidney Chisholm.
Oh Lord.
Democrats are together. He only endorsed 4 people, including himself, and of those 4, 3 of these people lost.
3 of them,
So I say that was a losing ballot, including himself.
including himself.
Here's another guy with a ballot. This Adrian Killebrew,
Right.
guy down here and running for district number 9. He endorsed 10 people, and of the 10 folks, 6 of them lost.
And he came in 4th place against the person that we endorsed, which was in the name of Ed Ford Jr.
Ed Ford Jr., and he didn't stand a chance
Yeah.
because he wasn't on a major
Right.
ballot. But this is a prime example of a guy who couldn't make anybody's ballot, and then he just created one.
Right.
And he called it the 9th District Democratic Ballot.
The
No
9th,
such thing.
the 9th district. So when you go out to vote and you're looking for a ballot, you're not looking for a district, one district. You're looking for something that's going to guide you or tell you where you need to be across the board for every single race that's on the ticket.
Straight losers.
So all you're talking about is one individual. He's really not concerned about whether you vote properly on the party side.
He just want to get elected.
He's just wanting to get elected himself.
And it's good he probably lost. He did lose,
Right.
and it's probably good that he did. Here's one that didn't make sense at all.
That's the
What do you call it?
Democrats of Shelby County's ballot. You would have thought that was the Trump ballot.
Yeah, but this one didn't make sense. I'm not going to even count the losers on this one. It got people on here that wasn't even on the ballot.
Right. So
It's just
you got a
crazy.
whole host of losers on there.
We had one that made some sense. This was one that Brett Thompson put together.
Right.
And Brett had a ballot. It made sense. He did have some losers on
Right.
it. He probably had about 2, maybe 3 losers all total, but he didn't do a complete ballot. He only just kind of cherry picked certain people. But of course, the ones that he selected, of all of them, the ballots that we collected, short of ours, Brett Thompson's ballot made the most sense.
Right. And you know, I listen to these people that say things like the ballots don't make sense, and ballots are about this, and the ballots are about that. But when you think about the true essence of a ballot, and especially for people of color, a lot of us really don't have time in our day-to-day lives to understand all the nuances of these different politicians that's running. So it's our job to glean from these people the proper information and disseminate it to the vote. I mean, we know by vetting these people a whole lot more than the people that don't have time
Right.
to do this.
And
We
they
do it every
depend
day.
on us.
They depend.
To give them good, solid information
exactly.
about the people that are running for office. So you need to come through the Grant Brothers with the Greater Memphis Democratic Club. We have another election coming up
Right.
in July, early voting up to the August election
Right.
for federal and state officers, which will be a primary.
Right.
And these guys who just won, their general will be on the same
Right.
day.
Right.
And some of these people do have a Republican opposition, So they'll have to do it all over again.
And the way we politic in our communities is primarily through this. And the way that the other side politic is through the commercial field.
Mhm.
And they do the same thing. Just put it in the newspaper, a ballot,
Mhm.
and tell you who you should go for and who that they endorse.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing.
Well, we've got the most
You know-
comprehensive program going. We sent out 41,000 ballots in the mail. Nobody did that. Not even the candidates who were running for office
Exactly.
didn't send that many. But we want to reach the entire Shelby County electorate.
Right.
More importantly, we produced another 25 or 30,000 ballots to hand out during early voting
Right.
and for election day. On early voting, we had 12 polls covered for 15 days.
Right.
Nobody could do that but the Greater Memphis Democratic Club.
And if you look at the numbers from Tuesday, the numbers came up tremendously for the Democrats. And in my estimation, that was due to the information getting to the people,
Absolutely.
by way of a ballot
And it tells
in the
me
mail.
that Democrats can win.
We can win. When you say our guy that ran for sheriff, Bonner, he got about 35,000 votes, opposed to the Republican side got less.
Mhm.
So the Democratic vote was high. Wanda Habit, which was on our ballot, she got about 35,000 votes.
Big vote getter.
Big vote getter. And the Republican person for that particular seat got about 18,000 votes. So it was a real big difference in what we were doing and what they were doing.
Absolutely. Because on election day, we covered pretty close to 70 polls.
Right.
Nobody did that. Not even the folks that were running for office. And we didn't have not one complaint
Not one complaint.
from anybody. So I'd like to say congratulations to the Greater Memphis Democratic Club. You did an outstanding job, Alonzo, leading this club to higher heights.
Right. And I'll have to pay the same homage back to you. You did an exceptional job on creating the ballot
Well,
in itself and getting it distributed and all of those things. So all in all, we had a real productive ballot, and don't let anybody tell you that ballots aren't important. Are not
and
important.
they work,
That's right.
without a doubt. I want to say one thing about the upcoming budget. It's budget season now for the city and the county. One thing I heard on the news is that Mayor Strickland has found and or creating or putting $19 more million into capital improvement, specifically to get our streets paved in the city
Right.
of Memphis.
And that's big.
That's
huge.
big. That's big stuff.
I mean, when you ride down around the city of Memphis on some of these streets, they had just become atrocious. I mean, you had potholes big enough for a car to go in.
Yeah, it's
And-
more like sinkholes.
I mean, for years, we were told it's no money. We can't fix the road.
Years and years.
We don't have enough money to throw pothole gravel into them, for years.
What's wrong with the black mayors when they get elected? What is their problem that they can't seem to do anything?
Well, in my estimation, and I've said a lot of this privately, but I'll say it publicly, I think when the black guys get elected mayor, and I think maybe a couple of 3 shows back I said this, what we have to do is start back contributing to our black people so that they don't have to take the money. So when the black guy runs for mayor, then we don't contribute any money, so he has to take the money from the powers that be. And once he takes the money, they own it. So when the vote comes up, they throw the money in his face and say, okay now,
You know what I did
You know
for
what I did for you.
Okay.
And we need that vote. And if they have to go lacking on that side, the people that really elected you, if they have to go lacking, so be it. But you gotta take care of us first. And their hands are tied once you take the money. I mean, you can take a politician and he or she says all the right stuff when they're running. But when they get in, look at AC. He said all the right stuff. But when he got in, couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. I mean, and we were paying the same tax money that we've always paid. We're paying the same tax dollars that we paid when he was in. Strickland came out with a budget a couple, 3 weeks ago, no new taxes.
No new taxes, doing everything that we've always done, but I'm going to increase almost $20 million to repair the streets and roads.
So at some point, we got to get past, and I'm not saying you just got to elect a bunch of people from the other side, but at some point, we got to get past electing people just because of their color. We got to get to the place where we elect people about what they do for us in our communities.
Absolutely.
That we need. I mean, why shouldn't we be able to get our streets paved when we pay our tax dollars every single year? We pay. But then, back in the AC days, they was giving all the money away to the pilot programs and to the people
That's right.
that were pretending that they were bringing jobs and never brought any jobs and took the money and ran and
That's right.
on and on and on.
Well, it goes back to what you talked about with contributions,
Right,
with developers and
right.
special interest groups, contractors, big-time contractors who do big business with the city of Memphis, who pay these folks off with campaign contributions. Now, it's nothing wrong with it. It's all legal. But you know, if I were ever elected to anything, you know what I would do? I wouldn't even take any campaign contributions from special interests, developers, and contractors. If little people wanted to give me $5 or $10 or $25 or $100, those are the folks that I would want to support me
But
financially.
they don't want to take the risk.
But that way, you're beholden to the greater good versus one or two or three people.
Look what happened to AC back in his last couple of years when he was in office, and he was talking about a tax hike and for property owners in order to satisfy some of the needs of just the regular basic community people. And Fred Smith at FedEx said, if you go up on taxes,
I'm gonna move
we're gonna
FedEx.
move FedEx.
Oh, move, scared him to death.
Scared him to death. I'm gonna move FedEx.
Fred Smith ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna move FedEx, and he bid it. He bought into it. But now with Strickland, do you hear any talk of moving?
None. You don't hear any of that. So I mean, and I'm okay with the pilot programs and to help these corporations if they do what they say they're going to do,
Right.
which is the biggest problem because they never do what they say they're
They
going to
never do what they say they're gonna do, and that's why we have the poverty and the job situation that we have in Memphis, because they don't do what they say they're gonna do. I mean, I was riding around there the other day, and we just have too many men just walking around unemployed, and that's gonna drive crime, because people are not just gonna be falling off the earth. They're walking around doing nothing and need food and need clothes. What they gonna do?
They're going to have to rob and
They
steal.
gonna
and-
take it from somebody. They're gonna take it from you, and they're
Right.
gonna take it from me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's right.
So our task is, and I'm not gonna say everybody 100% wants to work and everybody 100% is good, but you gotta snuff out the bad. You can't let the bad overtake the good. There's good people out there want to work and want jobs and want a job that can give them insurance and blah, 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 and take care of their family and all of that. So we can't get stuck on, well, everybody's bad, because that's not true. That's what they'd
correct.
have us to believe, but that's not true.
I don't know. Sometimes it seems like we're talking about some of the same conditions in the city of Memphis, but these conditions won't go away. And they gotta be talked about in order to make people realize that we have a problem and what we need to do to fix the problems that we currently have. And I like the fact that you're talking about color and race and party. Those folks who are gonna do the most for us are the folks who deserve our support.
That's right.
Black, white, green, or gold. You can be blacker than the blackest black man, get elected, and don't do anything. We've seen that happen
We've seen it
on
happen.
more than one
We've seen it
occasion.
happen. And just like these people that we just elected on Tuesday, and we gotta stay engaged. If they don't do the job, it's coming again. Vote them out.
Absolutely.
We got some city people coming up in 2019 that don't deserve another term. That's sitting on city council and all that. We can't vote for them again just because they were there last time and we know their name.
Well, look what Ed Ford did on the city council. He's got a resolution that's going to bump up salaries.
Right.
There won't be anybody in City Hall making less than $15.50 an hour.
Right.
That's real community work. That's helping folks. Whether you have a request or not, if I can move from $11 an hour to $15.50 an hour, my standard of living is going to go up.
Right.
So I got to give Ed Ford Jr. kudos, because you cannot argue with success.
When you live in a city like Memphis, where it's 70% black and 30% white, government is our way out. We're not going to get big time jobs through all these private organizations. It's through the government. And when AC was in, he decimated government jobs.
Took it
and
out.
then turned around and asked the people at the churches, well, if you lay off all the city workers, who you think those people, who churches do they go to?
The same
people.
churches, and when they get laid off, whose tithes are going to be
That's right.
affected?
The church
Whose
stuff.
offerings
Okay.
are going to be
And how you
affected? How's the Pastor's Love Drive Day going
Right.
to go? It's going to be an all-time low because folks have lost their jobs.
Lost their job.
And the first place you're going to cut is the church.
It's the church.
Is the church. Because you're going to pay your bills. You're going to pay your LGW. So you may go from $100 a week to $50 a week at the church.
So you lay off all the people that work for the city, and they were making $18, $19, $20 an hour benefits. Once you lay them off, then where do they go to get that?
That's a
again?
dirty shame. They
What?
won't ever get it again.
Okay.
That's why I always say that A.C. Ward was the worst mayor the city ever had. Ever had. And shouldn't ever be elected to anything in Shelby County. And on that note, you heard it first right here on the Grant Brothers Bluff City Report. We're hitting kind of hard tonight, but we're telling the truth.
That's
My
right.
name is Greg Grant,
And
and
I'm
on any given Sunday,
it's the Grant Brothers Bluff City Report. Have a great rest of your weekend.
and you're Alonzo Grant.
I'm Alonzo.
Okay, sit down. I think that's pretty good. Because last time on last Sunday,